Welcome to Unselfishly Me, a podcast all about self-love, self-care, and everything in between. I'm Jane, a personal trainer with a focus on self-love. Each week, we'll be chatting to someone about their self-love journey, how long it took, and what it took to get there. So today I'm doing a topic that I think people are very confused about. If you don't know what chakras are and you've heard about them, you've probably heard me speak about them, but I think a lot of people that follow me aren't into woo-woo things, and so you might not know what this is. And I think that is perfectly okay, because I didn't know for years either. And then the more I got interested in yoga and all that kind of stuff, then the more chakras kept coming up, and it really is a part of our lives, literally in your body. But I think we always think that it's something like super woo-woo, and I don't want to get involved, I don't want to know about that, but it literally has been around for centuries. So I'm going to break it down for you today. Chakras 101. I do this as one of my Self-Love Sunday sessions, which now is on demand as well. You can watch the videos in a private Facebook group, and you have access for 3 days, and that is 180 Rand. So I obviously go super deep into it there. That's like an hour, but I'm only going to try to do this in 10 minutes. 10 minutes or less, but who knows with me, because you know how I waffle. So Chakras 101. So what is a chakra? So a chakra is a center of organization that receives, assimilates, and expresses life force energy. So chakra means wheel or disc, and it's a spinning sphere of bioenergetic activity emanating from the major nerve ganglia branching forward from the spinal column. So it literally is in your body, like it is radiating off your spinal column. So it's not like this imaginary thing that we think is made up in our heads. It literally is actually based in your body. So we'll talk about the 7 main chakras. There are more in your body, but these are the most recognized. So 7 of the wheels are stacked in a column of energy that spans from the base of your spine to the top of your head. So those are the 7 major ones that we'll be discussing today. And it originated in India more than 4,000 years ago. So it literally is a thing. It has been around for so many years. It has changed so many people's lives. It has helped so many people change their lives. So be very open-minded when you listen to this, okay? So they're not physical entities, but they have a strong effect on the body as they express the embodiment of spiritual energy on the physical plane. So chakra patterns are programmed deep in the core of the mind-body interface and have a strong relationship with physical functioning. Like you'll see, there's sometimes people have problems, and it can be because their chakras are blocked. So activities in the chakras can influence our glandular processes, body shape, chronic physical ailments, thoughts, and behavior. There's a huge part in a book that I'm using that I go into super in-depth in the session, but I'm not going to be going in depth today, but I'm going to break it down into little chunks that you can be intrigued with. So what blocks chakras? So we've all experienced times when the free flow of our energy seems blocked. So it could be when you're just not feeling yourself. You don't know why you're in a funk. You're like, I don't know why I'm feeling this way. Well, I know why. So example, if communication is blocked for us, then the throat chakra is blocked. If we live in fear and submission, our power chakra may be blocked. If our physical health or personal finances are in constant crisis, then the root chakra is blocked. Things like childhood traumas, cultural conditioning, limited belief systems, restrictive or exhausting habits, physical and emotional injuries, or even just a lack of attention all contribute to chakra blockage. So difficulties in life is a coping strategy. And if it persists, then these coping strategies become chronic patterns that become anchored in the body and the psyche as defense structures. So it sounds super out there, but like the defense then creates the holding patterns in our musculature that restricts free flow of energy, even when the real threats cease to exist. So it could be all in your mind, but you don't understand why you keep feeling it in your body. And then chronic tension just becomes body armor. So it then affects your posture, your breathing, metabolism, emotional state, as well as perceptions, interpretations, and belief systems. So this can all stem from these patterns that you're creating, and that it actually eventually physically affects you. And like our body and mind are so connected. I think I've spoken about this so many times, how it is so connected we don't even realize, that it becomes so affected that we see the manifestations in our relationships, our work, creativity, and our belief systems. So it perpetuates that pattern. And then when you don't sort the block out, it grows and grows and grows. And a small fear could become a full-on phobia. And then half the time you don't even know where this phobia has come from, or this like irrational fear that you've created, because it's happening in your body and it becomes a story that you tell yourself. So I'll run through quickly how you can unblock them. So number one, understand the dynamics of that chakra. So you've got to understand the nature and its function, know what the chakra is trying to accomplish and how it behaves in its optimal functioning. Examine the personal history related to that chakra's issues. So each chakra has a developmental stage with traumas and abuses that affect its functioning. So you need to understand your programming from each particular stage that gives the vital information about the nature of the block. Then apply exercises and techniques. As the chakras are physically embodied, there are specific physical exercises designed to open parts of the body. So also meditations, real world tasks, and visualization techniques will help to influence a change in a chakra. So you can balance excess and deficiency. So if it's blocked by chronic holding, we learn to let go. If it's blocked by avoidance, we learn to focus on that area in both our bodies and in our lives. So different blocks need different healing. So the 7 chakras that are most spoken about are the root chakra, which starts at the base of your spine, then the sacral, solar plexus, your heart, your throat, your third eye, and your crown. So they all have different colors, they all have different meanings, they all have different things that they affect, especially if they're blocked. I just think I love to find out what color is their favorite and what they wear the most and what they're drawn to the most, because generally it is correlating to a chakra, which I think is so interesting. So there are 7 rights. So each chakra reflects a basic inalienable right. So loss of these rights blocks a chakra, and then reclaiming these rights is part of healing. So root chakra is the right to be here. Sacral is the right to feel. Solar plexus, the right to act. Heart, the right to love and be loved. Throat, the right to speak and hear truth. Third eye, the right to see. And crown is the right to know. The counterforce of chakras. So chakra 1 would be fear. 2 would be guilt. 3 would be shame. 4 would be grief. 5 would be lies. 6 would be illusion. And 7 would be attachment. So that is your root, your sacral, your solar plexus, your heart, your throat, your third eye, and your crown. This episode is brought to you by us, and selfishly me. We have created an amazing legacy book. It is my heart and soul that went into creating this book. Basically, it was all the questions I wish I'd asked my gran before she died. I wish I had this book filled with memories and all about her personality and her life growing up as a child. There are over 70 pages full of questions and some spaces to put photos, and it is suitable for anyone in your life. I've made it quite generic in that you can give it to your brother, your sister, your child, your mom, your dad, your best friend. You can give it to a friend to gift to their partner or whoever. Basically, it's all questions that you would love to ask them and things that you probably wouldn't think to ask them. Like, what was your childhood like? Do you remember your teachers? What stood out about them? What is your dream car? What is on your bucket list? Your favorite food, your favorite color. What life advice would you give me? What business advice would you give me? What life advice and love advice? And it just goes on and on. The questions are endless. They really are fun for the person to fill in. They're fun for you to read. And I think it's important that us, as people, as parents, as friends, as children, we fill in our legacy and gift it to those that mean the most to us as well. Especially in these times, we don't know what's going to happen. No one is immune from this disease and this virus, and if you can gift a book to someone filled with all your memories and those things that really mean a lot to you, then it's really special for them to keep and to read as well. A lot of friends have been gifting them to their parents right now to fill in during lockdown, and it's just a great way of having those memories, and just in case, we don't like the what if situation, but this is a really nice way of being able to treasure those memories, those thoughts, and those feelings as well. So if it's something that you'd be interested in, you can head to www.unselfishlyme.com and head to the shop section, and it's called the Legacy Book. So each chakra develops at a different stage in our life, and each completed stage supports the healthy awakening of the next. Now, this is so fascinating. Maybe I'll read it out quickly, but I do go into it in that session. These things are literally from birth. Like, it's so interesting. Okay, so the root chakra, the identity is physical, and it is from the womb to 12 months. And that's all about trust and mistrust. Then sacral is emotional, and it's from 6 months to 2 years. And that's also about trust and mistrust. It's also all about safety. Then your solar plexus is all about ego. It's from 18 months to 4 years. And that is all about belonging. Then the heart chakra, it's all about social. It's from 3 to 7 years, and that is about initiative versus guilt and self-esteem. Throat chakra is all about being creative, and that is from 7 to 12 years, and that is industry versus inferiority and self-actualization. Then the third eye is adolescence. That is all formal operations and identity versus role confusion. And the crown chakra is adulthood, and it is all about transcendence and intimacy versus isolation, generativity versus self-absorption, integrity versus despair. So these things are really important to know about, because you can help mold your child's future by helping them to stay open and not have these blockages and things causing shifts in their lives. So you really can open them up to be their greatest self going forward. So chakras are also linked to traumas and abuses. So I have this book. It is called, it's really thick, Eastern Body, Western Mind by Anadia Judith, and it is literally the psychology and the chakra system as a path to self. So it is, it's major. It's super involved. I didn't use all of it in the session because it's just, it's quite deep. I did it as a basis. I can do another session that's super deep, but it's very, very, very interesting. But if you can, do my session, because I break it all down and read out all the different parts and go into much more depth in this, but I just want you to know what they are all about. So the root chakra, it's at the base of your tailbone, and it's the center of stability. So when it's out of alignment, you can feel anxious, nervous, dizzy, or as if you have vertigo. And when this chakra is overactive, you feel unable to make progress in your life on personal or professional levels, and you feel stagnant in your primary relationship. So both extremes feel deeply troubling to you, as if your very life depends on the adjustment. So it also just makes you feel safe, secure, and grounded. So it's all about feeling like you're at home. The sacral chakra sits between the reproductive organs in the center of your lower abdomen and represents the life force of creative potential. Here's the domain of creation and procreation, the well of potential for what it will be. When the sacral chakra is blocked or isn't spinning with ease, your sense of creative potential is blocked. This might manifest in apparent lack of inspiration for a creative project, an inability to pursue your art, or a loss of interest in it, or physical infertility. So it's about being creative, but it's also about feeling fun and feeling joy, and like you deserve to have like a happy, fun life as well. So it's that playful side of life that you can enjoy as well. And then one of my favorites, especially for self-love and self-worth, is the solar plexus chakra. So it sits 2 finger widths above your belly button. It is called the powerhouse of the energy field. So your energy center of power and confidence. When this chakra is well balanced and aligned with the rest of the chakras, you feel empowered, confident, and capable. It is a key to manifesting what you create at the sacral chakra. So think of the solar plexus chakra as the key that unlocks the door you built, in that one below. And in this chapter, like now, you're going through this door and you're reaping the rewards of, feeling self-worth, your self-esteem is high, and just feeling all the self-love. Then the heart chakra is the center of your body's energy universe. It sits over your physical heart and regulates energy flow in the same way that your physical heart regulates blood flow. So It's its heartache as well as your deepest affection. It's your ability to hold, heal, and help the entire planet, entire universe, and the compassion for all people in all places across time. So it's all about loving and, nurturing and giving your love back in the world. So this is green. I should have said this before. Sacral is orange and root is red. So want to know what colors you suit. And let me know what color you are drawn to. So send me a DM and tell me what color you're drawn to, wear the most, eat the most, color-wise as well. So throat chakra is blue. How do you feel about truth? So truth is the operative word with the throat chakra. So many people focus on voice and speech. So that's your ability to articulate thoughts and ideas. But the most important thing about this chakra is not how you communicate, but what you communicate. So what is your truth, your deepest wisdom, the how to sharing your truth. So this is all about throat chakra and speaking your truth and speaking up. Often, if you have a fight, I've had a fight with someone and I got such a sore throat and I didn't know why, out of nowhere. And then I remembered and I was like, oh. Then I went to the Louise Hay You Can Heal Your Life book, researched it, throat. Oh, sore throat. Got the mantra and it was gone by the next day. So third eye is the seat of intuition and the clarities that intuition brings. So when it's open and activated, you become an energy peacock. You have many eyes that see the world in full vibrant color, and all of your senses are available to you as sources of wisdom and information. When it's blocked, however, you feel the opposite, so unclear, unfocused, and unable to sense what is happening around you. My word, I was feeling like that the other day, so now I'm thinking, oh. So they say this is like an indigo color, like indigo. I always just picture purple for me. I don't know, indigo versus purple, but it's mostly indigo, but I'm taking it as purple. So yeah, so this is all about your intuition and your gut feel, but even though it's in your third eye, not your gut, but we all have that intuition within us, and we always know. And that's why they say the all-seeing eye, like knowing what's happening, like when we say I have eyes in the back of my head, and all those kind of things as well. So it's all about knowing yourself, I think, as well, and having that connection where you trust yourself and you trust your intuition. And then the crown chakra, which is actually violet, but some people say white, so it's between violet and white, depending on what or how you see it. So the crown chakra is your crown of holy connection to the divine. It sits on top of your head. It is a bright violet disc that emanates what we call the violet ray of compassion and protective light. So when your crown chakra is open and functioning well, you feel intimately aware of your connection to God or source or creator energy, whatever you believe in. When it is blocked or inactive, you feel disconnected from the divine and unsure of your relationship to God or source or creator. So this is all about spiritual awareness, I would say, and wanting that connection and working on it and knowing that it is there. And then just to end off, I found this so fascinating. Addictions and the related chakras. So I read this out when I did my session, but I found it quite interesting. So number one, which is, we're starting at the bottom, so root chakra would be food, gambling, shopping, and work. Sacral is alcohol, sex, and heroin. Solar plexus is amphetamines, cocaine, caffeine, work, and anger. Heart is tobacco, so smoking, sugar, love, and marijuana. Throat is opiates and marijuana. Third eye, hallucinogens and marijuana. And crown is religion, spiritual practices. So I thought that was really interesting. I don't know if any of you have a loved one or yourself that goes through this, and it'd be interesting to hear. So feel free to DM me on Instagram and let me know what you think. For me, some of it does make sense. You don't want to generalize, but just, from what you've seen. Also I'll take the solar plexus one as an example. It's like amphetamines, cocaine, caffeine, work, and anger. You can be addicted to all of those. And let's just take it, for example, the work part. So when you're feeling low self-esteem, like you have low self-worth, it can be in general or in love, in relationships, in work, or whatever, you'll get addicted to work because you want to prove yourself, and it's the only thing you can control, so you might start getting addicted to work because that's what you get the best feedback on. So you're working, trying to be perfect all the time, trying to get the feedback and saying how amazing you are by your boss because that's where you feel your best. Same with caffeine, with the coffee, and then obviously then the coffee's helping you work more, things like that. So yeah, it's really interesting. I'm not going to say more on that because I don't want to get into that and dig a hole and say anything that offends anyone. But yeah, I found that super fascinating. So let me know if you'd like to book to watch that video. It is an hour long and it really goes into it. I also do a meditation. I was going to do it here, but I've gone over time. Do a meditation for it, and there are journal prompts as well. So it is a really well-rounded session, and I think you'll get a lot out of it. So let me know and I will book you on that. And I hope that you enjoyed this, and go do your own research. Go onto YouTube, go and Google and learn about chakras because it is really, really interesting. Thanks for listening, and I'll see you next week. Thanks for listening to Unselfishly Me. Follow us on Instagram at unselfishlyme and check out our website www.unselfishlyme.com.